The old days. I am an old man now. My hair is white, my hands are slow and have many wrinkles, but my mind is full of memories. I remember the old days very well. Life was simple, but it was good and warm. Families were big, and houses were full of love. People had more time for each other. When I was a boy, my family had 9 children. We lived in a small house, but we were happy together. I had 5 brothers and 4 sisters to play with. We shared rooms and shared clothes every day. We laughed, we played, and we helped each other. There was always someone to talk to or hug. It was never quiet in the house. Our meals were loud and full of stories and fun. We sat together on the floor, side by side. My mother made bread and soup with care. Sometimes we had rice or beans and vegetables. We didn't eat much meat, but we never felt hungry. We ate with love, and that made everything taste good. Those dinners are still in my heart. We didn't have phones, computers, or video games at home. We didn't watch TV every day like kids do now. But we never felt bored, not even for a moment. We made our own fun with simple things. We ran, jumped, and played in the fields. The world was our playground, full of joy, and our hearts were always light. We played games with stones, ropes, and sticks. We made little toys from wood and cloth. We built small houses from mud and leaves. We didn't need money to be happy and busy. We stayed outside until the sun went down. Then we walked home with dirty hands and feet. But we smiled, and that was enough. My brothers were my best friends in the world. We did everything together, all day long. We helped Father in the garden after school. We fixed broken things and carried water. Sometimes we fought, but we always made peace fast. We could not stay angry for long. We knew we needed each other more than anything. My sisters worked hard and were always kind. They helped my mother in the kitchen every day. They washed clothes and cared for the small ones. They sang songs while they worked with happy voices. The house was full of love and soft music. They taught me how to be gentle and strong. I learned a lot from them. Now I look around and see a different world. Families are small and homes are very quiet. Many children are alone with phones and screens. They do not talk or play like we did before. The streets are silent and the fields are empty. Sometimes I miss the noise and the mess. I miss the old days more than words can say. I remember the cold mornings in wintertime. We had no heater, no warm machine in the house. We all slept in one room to stay warm together. My mother gave us thick blankets and socks. We held each other close and talked before sleep. In the morning we could see our breath inside, but we smiled and started the day with hope. We walked to school through snow and rain sometimes. The school was small and made of wood and stone. Our shoes got wet and our hands were cold, but we were happy to learn and see our friends. The teacher was strict but kind and fair. We used chalk and slates, not books and screens. We learned with heart, not just with eyes. After school, we never went home right away. We stayed outside to play with other children. We made snowmen or climbed trees in the sun. We raced on dirt roads and shouted with joy. The girls played with dolls made from cloth. The boys made toy cars from cans and sticks. We forgot time and laughed until the sky turned dark. At home, the light came from oil lamps only. We had no electricity in the early years. My father lit the lamp and we sat around it. My mother told us stories about the past. We listened with wide eyes and warm hearts. Sometimes she sang songs in a soft voice. Those nights were quiet, simple, and full of peace. On some evenings, neighbors came to visit us. They brought bread, fruit, or sweet tea to share. We sat on the floor and talked for hours. The men spoke of work and the women laughed. We children listened, sometimes half asleep in corners. The house was full of noise and love. Those visits made us feel rich and special. I also remember the summer days very well. The sun was strong and the days were long. We helped in the garden, picking fruits and vegetables. We washed in the river and played in the water. Our skin got dark and our feet stayed bare. We slept under the stars with happy hearts. Summer was our favorite time of all. My father worked hard every single day. He was strong, quiet, and full of wisdom. He taught us how to grow food and fix things. He showed us how to be kind and honest. He didn't speak much, but we listened always. His hands were rough, but his heart was soft. I still try to live the way he did. Now I sit in my chair and remember everything. I think of the people, the sounds, the smells. I think of the bread, the fields, the rain. The world was not perfect, but it was full of life. It was full of meaning, care, and connection. Sometimes I close my eyes and go back there, and in my heart, I am still that little boy. I remember the market days in our village well. Every week, people came from far and near. They brought fruits, bread, clothes, and handmade things. The market was noisy, full of color and smell. Women laughed, children ran, and men bargained with joy. We walked between the stands with wide eyes. It was the most exciting day of the week. My mother loved market day more than anyone. She wore her best scarf and carried a basket. She bought flour, sugar, and sometimes a small sweet. She talked to neighbors and shared family news. I followed her, holding her hand and listening. She always smiled and said kind words to all. Her heart was open to everyone she met there. In the evening after the market, we were tired, but my mother cooked something special for dinner. The smell filled the house and made us happy. We sat in a circle and gave thanks for the day. My father spoke a few words, strong and wise. We ate slowly and talked about the people we saw. These meals brought us closer every time. Some nights my uncles came to our house. They laughed loudly and told stories from their youth. They talked about hard work and old village games. My father smiled and said little, just listened. We children sat around them and watched their faces. We wanted to grow up and be like them. Their words felt like treasures from long ago. My grandmother also lived with us in the old house. She was small, quiet, and full of love. She wore black clothes and sat by the window. She told us stories about when she was a girl. She said people helped each other more in the past. Her voice was soft, but her stories were strong. I can still hear her in my dreams. We didn't have many clothes or shoes back then. I had one pair of shoes for the whole year. When they broke, my father fixed them with care. My shirt had patches and my pants were old. But we didn't mind, and we didn't feel poor. We were proud of what we had and shared. We learned to take care of everything we owned. Even holidays were different in those days. We didn't get many gifts, but we felt lucky. My mother made sweet bread and cleaned the house. We wore our best clothes and visited family homes. We kissed hands, hugged elders, and smiled all day. The whole village felt alive and full of joy. It was simple, but it was deep and beautiful. Now holidays are loud with lights and shopping, but sometimes they feel empty inside my heart. People give gifts, but forget the real meaning. They forget time with family and simple joy. I miss the warmth, the closeness, the honest smiles. I miss the old ways, even the hard parts, because those days were full of true life. I remember the smell of fresh bread in the morning. My mother woke up early to make it for us. She mixed flour and water with her strong hands. Then she made fire in the old oven outside. The smoke rose into the sky as the bread baked. We waited with empty stomachs and happy faces. That smell meant love, care, and the start of a good day. My father was always the first to leave the house. He took his tools and walked to the fields. He worked under the sun, through heat and rain. He never complained, not even once in his life. He said work gave meaning to a man's soul. In the evening he came home tired but proud. His strength taught me more than any words could. We children had our own jobs after school. We brought water from the well in big buckets. We cleaned the yard, fed the chickens, and gathered wood. Sometimes we helped our mother in the kitchen, too. Work was part of life, and we did it together. It was not easy, but it felt right and honest. We learned to care and to carry responsibility early. I remember when the power first came to our village. People gathered to see the lights turn on. We all clapped and cheered when the room lit up. It felt like magic, like something from another world. But even then, we didn't forget the old ways. We still used the fire, the oil lamps, the sun. We lived with both the new and the old together. Music was also different back then in our days. We didn't have radios, CDs, or phones with songs. My uncle played a small flute made of wood. Sometimes the neighbors brought drums and danced around. The music was simple, but it touched our hearts. It brought people together in the open nights. The stars above and the music below were our joy. There was a small river near our village edge. In summer, we swam there every single day. The water was cool, and the trees gave us shade. We made little boats from leaves and watched them float. We raced each other and laughed without a care. There was no noise, no cars, no busy streets. Only water, wind, sunshine, and the sound of fun. Some evenings my mother sat and sewed quietly. She fixed clothes or made new ones from old cloth. I remember the sound of the needle moving fast. She sang while she worked, a soft, sweet tune. I sat beside her doing my homework or drawing. That moment was small, but full of calm and peace. I carry it with me even now in silence. Now many children don't know these small joys. They grow fast, but miss the beauty of slow life. They have many things, but sometimes no true memories. I hope they learn to see the world with care. I hope they sit with grandparents and listen more. The past may be gone, but its lessons remain, and I will keep telling the stories until the end. There was a tree behind our house, very tall and old. We called it the story tree because we sat under it. My father would rest there after work in the evening. We children gathered around him on the ground. Sometimes he told us about his childhood days. Sometimes he just sat in silence, smiling softly. That tree saw many summers, many laughs, many dreams. Every season had its own beauty in those years. In spring, flowers grew everywhere without being planted. The air smelled fresh, and bees flew from flower to flower. We ran in the fields and picked wild berries happily. In autumn, leaves turned red, yellow, and brown slowly. We made piles and jumped into them again and again. Even the wind felt kinder back then somehow. Each season gave us something special to remember. I remember the day my brother fell from a tree. He was trying to reach a bird's nest high up. He hit the ground hard, and we all screamed with fear. My father ran to him and held him close. We had no car, no clinic, no medicine at home. But my mother knew what to do with her hands. She made him better with herbs, care, and love. When someone was sick, the whole village came to help. People brought soup, fruit, or just sat and prayed. No one felt alone, not even for 1 hour. The village was like one big family working together. If one cried, all cried. If one smiled, all smiled. We were poor in money, but rich in connection. That kind of love is rare in today's world. Weddings were big and full of joy in our time. Everyone came, even people from faraway hills. The bride wore a simple dress with small flowers in her hair. There was music, dancing, food, and loud laughter all day. People didn't care about gold or big gifts back then. They cared about love, unity, and celebration with others. Those weddings stayed in hearts longer than any photo. I also remember the village teacher very well. He was an old man with a long gray beard. He taught us not only words, but how to live. He told us stories with lessons about kindness and truth. He walked to school each day with a cane. Even when tired, he smiled and said, "Never stop learning." His words follow me even now as I speak. Death, too, was different in the old days. When someone died, we all gathered to say goodbye. We cried, prayed, and shared stories of their life. We did not hide death or run away from it. It was part of life, part of love, part of memory. The graves were simple, but full of meaning and flowers, and we visited often, not just once a year. Now I sometimes feel like a stranger in today's world. Things move fast, but hearts feel far apart. People live close, but speak so little face to face. I don't hate the new days, but I miss the old ones. I miss the time when we felt more, needed less. And so I talk. I remember. I share what I know, because these stories still carry light, even now. Sometimes I walk near the places where I grew up. The paths are the same, but the feeling is different now. The air is still, and the sounds of the past are gone. I remember the people, the voices, the simple joy of life. I stop and close my eyes to feel it once more. The past is quiet, but it still lives in my heart. And in that silence, I find a kind of peace. The school we loved is now closed and falling apart. The walls are cracked. The doors are broken. The floor is dusty. But I see children running there in my mind again. I hear the bell, the laughter, the teacher's calm voice. We learned more than books inside that small classroom. We learned respect, patience, and how to live with others. Those lessons stay with me more than anything else I learned. I visit the small graveyard when I feel alone inside. My parents rest there, my brother too, and old friends. I bring flowers, touch the stones, and speak softly to them. I tell them what I've seen, how things have changed. The wind moves through the trees, and it feels like a hug. I sit for a while and let the memories wash over me. Even in loss there is love, and that love stays forever. My children now live far away in tall, fast cities. They work hard, they have many things and little time. They call me, they care, but I miss their faces. I want to sit with them and share these memories, not to make them sad, but to help them see more, to see the value in small things, in people, in time, because one day they too will look back and remember. Now I sit by my window and watch the days pass. Birds fly, people walk, the sky changes with the hours. I hold a warm cup of tea and think in silence. I do not fear time or the end of my story. I am proud of the life I lived and the love I gave, and if someone listens to my words, that is enough, because stories carry the light of those who came before. I hope this session was helpful. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more such interesting stories. Take care, everyone.